Have you ever stared out at the vast, beautiful ocean, licked a bit of salt off your skin after a swim, and realized that 97% of the planet's water is completely undrinkable? Now consider this. By the year 2030, nearly half the human population will be facing severe water scarcity. That is a colossal global crisis, but to a rare breed of elite infrastructure titans, it is the ultimate gold-plated business opportunity. Welcome to the high-stakes, billion-dollar financial engine of mega desalination plants. This isn't just basic environmental science. It is a cutthroat industry where engineering geniuses use advanced thermodynamics to turn ocean waves into pure, liquid gold, printing massive fortunes while solving humanity's greatest survival challenge. If you want to see how the world's savviest investors exploit the absolute monopoly of thirst, smash that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and let's dive right into the hidden economics of desalination, the ultimate monopoly of thirst. If you sell smartphones, clothes, or luxury cars, consumers can easily choose to skip your product when times get tough. But when you own the infrastructure that supplies clean drinking water, you hold the keys to a non-negotiable human necessity. You are dealing with the ultimate monopoly of thirst. Desalination plants are built in hyper-arid regions where natural freshwater rivers and underground aquifers simply do not exist. Governments and massive city municipalities have absolutely no alternative choice but to purchase your output. This creates a beautifully bulletproof economic moat where your consumer demand is perfectly inelastic. People will happily stop paying for subscription services, dining out, and luxury items before they ever stop paying to keep their faucets running, giving you unparalleled long-term revenue security. The astronomical entry ticket. You cannot just buy a couple of plastic filters, run a garden hose down to the beach, and expect to make $1 billion. The upfront capital expenditure required to build a utility-scale desalination facility is staggeringly high, easily blowing past $500 million to over $1 billion for a single site. You are building massive, industrial-grade intake pipes that stretch deep into the ocean floor, constructing high-tech chemical treatment facilities, and installing thousands of sophisticated pressure vessels. The barrier to entry is so intensely high that it completely locks out smaller multi-millionaire investors, leaving this lucrative playground strictly reserved for global sovereign wealth funds, elite infrastructure private equity firms, and massive multinational engineering conglomerates that can easily absorb colossal financial risks. The brutal iron law of osmotic pressure. To understand how a desalination plant actually turns a profit, you have to conquer a rigid law of physics known as osmotic pressure. The vast majority of modern plants utilize a high-tech process called reverse osmosis. Imagine forcing highly concentrated salt water through a microscopic, semi-permeable membrane that catches the tiniest sodium ions while letting pure water glide through. Sounds simple, right? The catch is that to overcome nature's natural balance, you have to blast that ocean water through the filters at a terrifying pressure of up to 1,000 pounds per square inch. This requires an army of massive, high-performance industrial pumps that consume mind-blowing amounts of electricity, making power consumption the single biggest variable cost that can easily make or break your entire corporate profit margin. The cogeneration energy arbitrage play. Because electricity accounts for up to 50% of a desalination plant's ongoing operational expenses, the smartest water barons execute a brilliant financial masterstroke, the cogeneration energy arbitrage play. They purposefully build their massive water purification plants right next door to existing natural gas, solar, or nuclear power plants. By physically linking the two industrial giants, the desalination facility can directly harvest the low-cost, residual thermal energy and cheap baseline electricity generated by the power plant. This strategic integration completely bypasses the expensive public grid distribution fees, slashes the water plant's operational overhead by up to 30%, and transforms a highly volatile energy liability into a hyper-efficient, highly predictable profit machine. The high-stakes water purchase agreement. Once your plant is successfully pushing out millions of gallons of crystal-clear, refreshing water, how do you actually guarantee your billions? Welcome to the high-stakes world of long-term water purchase agreements, or WPAs. Because constructing these facilities is incredibly risky, private developers refuse to lay a single pipe until a government or megacity signs an ironclad. The toxic riddle of brine disposal. Every single time a desalination plant magically creates 1 gallon of pure, clean drinking water, it simultaneously produces 1 gallon of highly concentrated, toxic sludge known as chemical brine. This hyper-salty leftover soup is packed with intense anti-scaling chemicals, heavy metals, and chlorine used during the purification process. Dumping this environmental nightmare straight back into the shallow coastal waters can easily trigger massive ecological catastrophes, leading to crushing government fines and public relations disasters. Factory owners must spend millions of dollars engineering advanced, multi-mile offshore diffuser pipelines to safely scatter the brine into deep ocean currents, turning environmental compliance into a highly specialized, expensive operational hurdle that requires constant vigilance to protect the plant's lucrative operating license. The secret arbitrage of mineral harvesting. While standard operators view that toxic brine purely as a frustrating waste product, the ultra-elite titans of the water industry look at it and see a massive, untapped mining opportunity. By processing the super-concentrated brine through secondary crystallization loops, they can systematically harvest valuable, high-purity minerals directly out of the chemical soup. We are talking about extracting commercial-grade table salt, magnesium, calcium, and even ultra-rare, high-demand tech metals like lithium. By selling these harvested minerals straight to industrial manufacturers, smart plant owners can create a lucrative secondary revenue stream that effectively subsidizes their baseline water production costs and outsmarts traditional competitors. The permanent CapEx membrane treadmill. Do not let their quiet, concrete exteriors fool you. Desalination plants are high-maintenance mechanical beasts that are constantly destroying their own internal infrastructure. Most notably, the delicate polymer reverse osmosis membranes get constantly clogged by marine microorganisms and choked by salt crystals, a phenomenon known as biofouling. This forces plant owners onto a permanent, multi-million-dollar capital expenditure treadmill. You must constantly run chemical flushes, utilize advanced artificial intelligence to predict filter degradation, and routinely replace thousands of massive membrane modules every few years, requiring razor-sharp operational execution to prevent the maintenance overhead from eating your margins alive. The sovereign wealth infrastructure roll-up. At the absolute peak of the global financial pyramid, fully operational, contract-backed desalination plants are viewed as the holy grail of defensive infrastructure assets. When giant sovereign wealth funds from the Middle East, conservative European pension funds, and multi-billion-dollar Wall Street private equity firms want to park their capital in hyper-safe, inflation-protected fortresses, they buy desalination networks. The ultimate exit strategy for developers isn't just selling daily gallons. It is flipping these vital infrastructure cash machines to institutional giants for legendary multi-billion-dollar payouts. The absolute weapon of strategic water security. Owning a mega desalination network grants you an incredible structural superpower, unmatched geopolitical and economic leverage over entire geographic regions. They can dictate the expansion terms of massive master-planned smart cities, influence regional industrial manufacturing growth, and command absolute deference from sovereign governments. During times of intense environmental stress, the strategic value of this infrastructure asset completely rockets out of the atmosphere, transforming a simple water purification facility into an omnipotent geopolitical anchor that can effortlessly weather any economic or political storm on Earth. Do you think it is ethically sound for private global corporations and elite investment funds to own the literal monopolies over a region's drinking water? Or should this vital resource always remain strictly under public ownership? Let me know your honest perspectives in the comments section down below. Smash that like button if this high-stakes infrastructure breakdown completely opened your eyes, and share this video with your business-minded friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our fun deep dives into the mechanics of extreme wealth. See you next time.